Hey Paranormies! Welcome back to the light side of the paranormal. My name is Alice, and today I am going to be reading and reacting to your spooky stories that you left in the comment section of last week's video titled The Spirits I See Storytime. Something that I love so much is when I share, you share. And it could be because I prompted you to do so before I closed out the video, but even so, I really appreciate that it almost feels like this safe circle where we can just talk about our experiences. So I'm going to be giving Paranormies the spotlight today instead of myself. I think that we're going to have a lot of fun today. Alright, so our first comment and story comes from Sean R.H. And he says, when living in Sacramento in 2003, I woke up one morning and was still in bed when I heard a loud, clear male voice say, "Work," right into my left ear. I'm going to pause for a second. That is interesting that it would have been on the left side because typically females will communicate via the left and males via the right. But let's keep going. I later did work like a maniac, sometimes 20 hours a day, and I got really sick from it. I got epilepsy, and I am only free of seizures with meds now. Oh my gosh, Sean, I'm so sorry. That will also be a word of caution to myself because outside of YouTube, I run a hair salon and I'm a hairstylist, and I do work like a dog. So thank you for letting me know. I'm so sorry, not to make that about me. That's horrible that that happened to you. I know people in my life that have epilepsy, and it does change your life. I am glad that you can cope with meds, but still, going from not having it to developing it from working like that, that must have been a really hard adjustment for you. I broke my back 3 times. My ex-girlfriend said it looked a bit like the scenes from the Exorcist movie. Oh my gosh. I really can't say I'm sorry enough, like 3 times. Breaking your back. Wow, I'm assuming that you mean while in a seizure, the way that you were moving, like your girlfriend said, like Reagan from The Exorcist. Was it from the convulsions that you broke your back from how you were moving, or did that happen at work? Please elaborate further in the comment section of that video or this one. But wow, that is a serious clairaudient moment. Now I wonder if they were saying work as in stop working so much, or I'm your spirit guide and I'm recognizing that you're working too much, so stop. But I wish that they could have said more to you because that wasn't much of a warning, just work. But still very, very chilling, and I completely believe your story. Thanks so much for watching and for sharing, Sean. Our next story comes from Emma. A few years ago, while home alone, I fell asleep in bed watching a DVD. I was woken up by noises downstairs. I clearly heard people saying, "She's upstairs in bed, we have to be quick or she'll see us." Ugh! I really hope that this was paranormal in comparison to something like actual robbers in your house or something, but I'm gonna keep reading, sorry. At this point, I couldn't move. Not frozen with fear, but with sleep paralysis. Okay. When I woke up again and my TV was switched off, there was no one there and nothing had been moved or opened. Okay. So I'm going to pause there because that is part 1 of her story. Okay, so that is very, very common in sleep paralysis to experience visual hallucinations and audio hallucinations. Could they be hallucinations or paranormal experiences? We don't know. That is a phenomenon. Nevertheless, creepy as all get out, and I'm sorry that that happened to you. I'm always really freaked out about people being in my house like that, so I can only imagine the terror. Let's keep reading. Later the same year, while my hubby was asleep next to me, it happened again. There were 3 people stood chatting at the end of my bed. I recognized 2 of them. There was a woman in a dusty pink smart dress and 2 men. One was in a blue RAF smart suit, and the other was in a smart green army suit. When they noticed me looking, they said, "Let her sleep," and walked out of the room. I burst into tears, which woke my hubby up. He had a look around, but no one was there. That weekend, I was telling my nan about it after seeing a picture of her in a dress. She got her photo album out and showed me an old picture of herself with my granddad, who passed away in '94, wearing a smart army suit, and his friend in a RAF suit when they were all younger, and it was 100% those 3 I saw in the room. I have never seen this photo before, as it is in my nan's special photo album that is kept safe so it doesn't get fingerprints or dirt on the photos. Wow, that is amazing! That is an incredible experience. Holy mackerel. I love when we can have validation at the end of our experiences like this. So it makes me wonder, I would assume that your granddad is still with you almost every day and maybe at night just to make sure that you're safe and that you're sleeping soundly. It's possible that his friend was with him hanging out that night and wanted to come visit you. The fact that your nan was there, but she is alive, I think? If she is passed away, once again, that could be a visit, but it sounds like she's alive. So that is the most peculiar part about this. If it was your nan wearing that dress in the photos, why was the photographic version of her visiting? Is it true that a part of our soul is captured within a photograph? Is it possible that that part of her soul is with your grandfather every day on the other side? I love that story. Thank you so much for sharing this, Emma, and thanks so much for watching. Our next story comes from Marty Melcher. For about 90% of my life, I lived in a house in Cleveland, Ohio that was owned by my family since the 70s. The land was owned for longer, but that's when the house was built. To note, my grandfather did die in a fire in that same house, as well as losing my older brother when he was 15. But there also has been something darker, and we really didn't notice it until we, meaning me and my elderly parents, moved in 2018 and noticed how much lighter just the atmosphere felt. Not long after the move, I had 2 dreams that still stick with me. I was in the basement of that old house and noticed that something had gotten out, and I couldn't get up the stairs as they were blocked by metal shelving. But I was desperate to get out and warn everyone that whatever it was got out. That would have felt so helpless. Sounds like a stressful dream. The second dream, I was in the basement again, but I was arguing with this entity. It was dark out, but I was arguing that it was not going to get me out of the basement. I was standing up to this thing, when in real life I swear I heard my mother calling me for help upstairs. So I bolt upright and run up the steps. My bedroom is in the basement. I end up in the kitchen when I notice nothing happening. Even our parrots are asleep. They do talk, but this wasn't them. Oh, side note, I would love a large bird that talks. I've been looking into cockatoos. Okay. This was about 3 in the morning. Okay. I started going back downstairs, and a worrying thought crossed my mind. It got me out of the basement. Only one other time creeps me out, aside from the occasional voice here and there. And that's when I felt like something was pulling me off my mattress by my ankles in the middle of the night. I woke up screaming in an embarrassingly high pitch, "Who the F are you?" And nothing was there. Again, about 2 to 3 in the morning. Anyway, those are my stories I thought I'd share. Hope y'all are having a great day and keep up the content. I love this spooky stuff and want to go ghost hunting more myself. All right. Thank you so much, Marty. I really appreciate that. I love that you went into detail, and I appreciate that you had multiple stories here, so I'm just going to unpack this with my thoughts. So the fact that your grandfather and older brother passed away in the home, that would already make it a paranormal hotspot. It's kind of like a beacon that attracts all kinds of paranormal activity, in my opinion. I want to first say I'm so sorry. Those are 2 very incredibly tragic events that happened in your life and in the home, and my heart is with you. That must have been extremely difficult. In terms of something getting out, it sounds like there could have been a portal in the basement, and something had exited the portal into your reality. While we're asleep, it's amazing how much more of our psychic abilities are heightened, and how much more aware we are of our surroundings on the other realm. So the fact that these messages are coming to you in your dreams is still significant. We don't need to just write them off as bad dreams, especially if you're not a person that constantly experiences paranormal activity in your day-to-day, like Jenna and myself. Sometimes our dreams are a gentler way for spirits or our spirit guides to communicate with us. It's often less scary than seeing an apparition right in front of you. I would encourage you to keep a dream journal, because clearly this is significant stuff, even if it's not dreams about this old house. It could be interesting to see it all laid out in front of you, the messages that are coming through. I think that that is a gift that you have, and that you need to continue to foster that. The second dream, where you were arguing with the entity, that was very impactful, I feel, because now you're actually talking to this thing. Trust your gut, and if you feel that there was a negative entity in that house, that's not to say that it's any of your loved ones that were there, but there could have been something that came out of that portal. I think it's good that you were standing up to it. That's the best way to deal with a negative entity like that. Put them in their place, show them that you mean business and that they're not going to push you around. I find it interesting that you were arguing about not getting out of the basement. So knowing that your bedroom is in the basement, I'm assuming in the other house, Or maybe this was happening while you were still living there. Please feel free to elaborate in the comment of that or in this video itself. Could it be that the basement was your sanctuary, your safe space because your bedroom's there, and it was trying to get you out of it where you're more vulnerable? The most chilling part of this entire scenario is the fact that you heard your mother calling from upstairs. Something that we do know is negative entities will often present themselves as people that we know or our loved ones to gain our trust and to lure us. Hearing a voice that sounds familiar coming from a deep dark wood and you would go exploring into the unknown is a perfect place for them to try to hurt you or even possess you. So obviously in your home coming from upstairs it seemed like a little less sketchy, but that could have been a lure, like a predator setting bait. The fact that a lot of these instances were happening between 2 and 3 in the morning is actually speaking volumes. I don't know if you know this, but 3 a.m. is the time of day where the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest. That is often a time where people will experience paranormal activity, whether you're someone that experiences it often or not. And it doesn't always have to be scary, like your loved ones could be visiting at 3 a.m. and things like that. Pay attention to recurring numbers that you're seeing in your life, especially if you're constantly seeing the number 3 and waking up at 3 a.m. That can be a sign that someone is trying to tell you something. It's possible that your spirit guides are giving you a sign and trying to give you a wake-up call to pay attention to what they're trying to tell you. Once again, getting back to the dream journal suggestion, it may be a good idea to do that. It's possible that they were trying to tell you something in your dreams or in everyday life situations. And being pulled off your bed, that is so scary because I feel like a lot of us find comfort in the notion that I can see them but they can't physically hurt me or physically touch me. But that right there is a whole other level of scary. It's actually one of my worst fears and why I burrito myself under the blanket so much at night. So my heart's with you in all of these very horrifying situations. I really appreciate you being so open and sharing these with us, and thank you so much for watching. Our next paranormal experience comes from Father DeWitt. Yes, that is the username, and here it is. About 2 days ago, around 8 p.m., I was listening to your Angry Hospital Spirits video while I was driving to head back home. As I was about to turn left to head back, I stopped and put my emergency lights and waited so the car slowly approaching behind me could go around me. As I was waiting for the car to go around, I heard a hand slap the back right hand side of my car very aggressively, but nobody was there. As I turned to head back home, I felt an immense and stiff pressure watching me from my right hand side. American car. I glanced quickly at my mirror to see if I could see what was behind me, and I thought I saw a non-featureless face kind of hunched forward. It gave me such a terrible feeling that I drove slow all the way home. The end. LOL. Wow, that is really intense. Ugh, I don't like the featureless face impression. Nope, don't like it. That must have been freaking terrifying. I'm so sorry if in some way our spirit box session that you were listening to prompted an event, or possibly if something came through the video into your reality. I deeply and sincerely apologize for that. It sounds so creepy. The smack too. Obviously you didn't hit something. It's just weird. The whole situation is very, very strange. I couldn't say for sure what that is, and trust that feeling when you felt that pressure, when you felt that intense energy. That is real. Trust your gut. Trust your intuition. Ugh. And it looks like you did cleanse everything when you got home, it says, so that is really good. Because this happened while you were in your vehicle, it may be worth tying some obsidian or tourmaline onto your car mirror. That way it's with you all the time and you're well protected. If you're a religious man, you could also keep holy water in your vehicle, and in times where things get like that, just douse the whole vehicle in holy water or moon water or whatever your beliefs are that protect you, and you'll be all good. But that is such a terrifying experience and a very chilling visual. Thanks so much for watching, and I appreciate you sharing this experience. It is super weird, and hopefully we can get to the bottom of what was going on there. And our final story this evening comes from Dan Weiss, or possibly Vice. We have a very old farm with a giant 1880s barn. Oh, cool! And myself and my son-in-law have had golf balls fly by while doing something in there at separate times. Weird. Inside the barn, I also have my wood shop built in the old milking parlor. Cool! and things are always moved in the shop when I return in the morning. Every morning when I open the shop, I announce that I am working in there and he can go get some rest. I like that. I think whoever built the barn is there. Loved it and was so proud of it. So I just want him to know that I also love it and appreciate the quality construction. We seem to get along just fine now. Oh my gosh, I love a positive ghost story. I love that you can just happily coexist. You're not trying to shoo him out of there. You said him, so I'm going to say him. Must be a male energy. And yeah, I love that. You seem very self-aware in what's going on. The golf ball thing is really interesting. Obviously, for a golf ball to fly, it would take a lot of wind to do that, so I'm gonna write that off as paranormal. Yeah, the fact that you announce yourself and everything, I love how respectful you are, that you guys are sharing this space, and I'm sure that you'll continue to have a happy haunted home or barn. Thanks so much for watching, Dan. I see you comment on a lot of our videos and I recognize that, and I appreciate you watching. All right, Paranormies, that concludes our story time of your stories and your paranormal experiences. Like this video if you want me to do more of this. We get so many stories in our comment sections, and I'd love to keep sharing them and deliberating about them. So if I see a lot of likes, I will definitely do that. Please comment down below a paranormal experience of your own if you'd like, or what your thoughts are on the ones that I've shared today. We appreciate all mindsets and beliefs here on the light side, but just please keep it nice. And please follow us on Instagram, TLS_paranormal. We would love to see you there. Feel free to comment on one of our posts and just let us know that you're here from the tube, and then we will know that it's all interconnected and that you guys are seeing all of our things, because we do try and keep everyone updated on there as well. We also will have our personal Instagrams in the description of every single video, so that you can follow us outside of the channel and in our personal lives as well. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. It really means so much to me, and I know that it means a lot to Jenna too. Our channel has been growing more and more every single day, and the fact that we've only been on YouTube for a short amount of time, it's just been so beautiful to see that, and we really genuinely appreciate you guys. Okay, and before I ramble on for the rest of your night, please stay safe and free Britney! Just have the best day ever today, or the best night, or the best sleep, or whatever. All right. Bye.